Each of us lives in the interdimensional space of the solar physical world until higher consciousness compels us to descend into the physical world. The work of living in the physical world consists of learning to master the consciousness of the lower body so that we are no longer controlled by the higher bodies. We then move in the world as masters of our own fate and consciousness. Some people recall the interdimensional life in the solar body. Some people do not. The solar body is immortal and does not age. It is impervious to disease, and it can manifest in the physical, astral, celestial, and divine spiritual worlds. It is the central meaning point of consciousness for most of us. It does not manifest on Earth in its native form, but it is the vehicle for travels between worlds and dimensions. The physical and astral forms will be entirely consumed by the forces that act between worlds. We could not tolerate the dimensional pull of a star. We could not tolerate the tidal forces that exist between the celestial worlds. The solar body allows us to develop the consciousness necessary to see between worlds, to experience life within the stars, and to travel the universe with other forms of higher life. As we learn to command the solar body, we learn to expand consciousness and take in the rarefied energies of the stars. These energies help us to release the power of immortality as we age. The energy of decay dominates the physical form as we age. Opening the physical body to the solar body allows us to begin the use of the power of the stars as our main source of energy rather than the power of physical tissues that we consume for food. The heart is one of the most essential organs in the body. The energy of the heart sustains and nourishes the entire body. Without the heart, the body will not be able to sustain itself. The heart has a physical component and an energetic component. The energetic or spiritual heart is the seat of high supreme consciousness within the body. The spiritual heart is the supreme consciousness, the ultimate subject of knowledge, the purest part of our being. It is that intimate observer of all of our thoughts, emotions, and sensations, the witness of both the mind and the universe in its inner and outer dimensions. In the spiritual traditions in India and elsewhere, the heart refers not so much to the physical organ as to a psycho-spiritual structure corresponding to the heart muscle on the material plane. This spiritual heart is celebrated by yogis and mystics as the seat of the transcendental self. It is called the Harid, the Haridaya, or Haridpadma, or heart lotus. It is often referred to as the secret cave, or guha, in which the yogin must restrain his mind. Accordingly, the spiritual heart, or the heart with a capital H, may vary in significance depending on the context of use or different associations. However, even if this notion seems complex, we should not lose ourselves in the snare of concepts alone. The heart, as the supreme consciousness, is like the ocean, which is reflected both as the vastness of sea and the different shapes of its waves. Similarly, the awareness of the spiritual heart is a complete path in itself. It can lead to a direct knowledge, integrating all the energies, the whole of manifestation, but at the same time, it reveals the ultimate supreme transcendence. The heart is the bridge between the finite and the infinite, personal and transpersonal, the present and eternity. It is openness towards the whole. In this aspect, the heart represents our main opportunity to transcend the limitations of individuality. This function of the heart makes it a borderline territory because it simultaneously bears the characteristics of the ultimate reality and of finite realities. The inner heart is a portal to direct experience of what is called spirit consciousness, concepts that easily elude all definition. It is thus often seen as a fountain of immortality, the overflowing of the heart as pure love and pure existence. It is in itself the sign of realization. This is what the great mothers wanted me to share with you all this day. My name is Ike Ray, obviously, for those who are new to the channel. I get right into it. In this video, we're going to be talking about the importance of cultivating a relationship with the sun, the big dog of the solar system, of the cosmos. It is paramount at this time as higher wicked forces or demonic forces try to block out the sun. So that is the importance of working with deities and your more ancient ancestors, as they can guide you in ways of reconnecting with the sun in the form of solar words and solar symbols, that you can draw energy from the sun without even looking at the sun. That is the way the ancient magicians, the ancient priests, priestesses, shamans, and those with the money to afford the information, this is how they got down in ancient times. Also, the knowledge and use of the solar body has been occurring for billions of years. There are a large number of races that perform this act daily. Humans are a young race and have only begun to become aware of the mysteries of the cosmos. The body of knowledge acquired by the vast races of the cosmos is stored within each star system that holds life. The information factors that flood our solar system hold the knowledge of star charts, light tunnel systems, ancestral tombs, lost civilizations, scientific accomplishment, technical specifications, medicines, music, mathematics, and a host of other systems. This information was implanted in the stars by the first race of beings to become conscious. To learn more about information factors, get the book called The X Project by Gene Savoy. Book written in the early 70s, but it details how they used to utilize the energy of the sun to enhance the creativity, to strengthen their solar body, to strengthen their light body, to elevate their consciousness. It is through working with the sun to where you can become an immortal and awaken your God genes. As we have here in the quote, the only way you win down here is to become a God. Anything else means you're going to be reincarnating in this realm or any of the 3D lower worlds until you come down here and elevate yourself to God status beyond lip service, and you'll do so by re-educating yourself and learning how to work with solar energy and solar magic in a more intelligent way. That simply laying in the sun is not going to get, you're going to get a nice tan. You may get some benefits from this laying in the sun, but the type of knowledge we're talking about here is going to come through ancient knowledge. You learn this through working with various deities and your more ancient ancestors that achieve immortality and godhood in a single lifetime. These entities roam the pathways of space and seeded life throughout the cosmos. They knew that one day each race would rise to the level of consciousness that would enable them to tap into ancestral knowledge of the cosmos. Certain plants, chemicals, DNA patterns, crystals, and animal tissues also contain this energy. These energies are carefully gathered and hidden from the masses and are not viable sources of ancestral knowledge. So, your more ancient ancestors, various deities, can guide you towards these plants, chemicals, DNA patterns. They guide you in ways you may work with crystals, not the way we got going on today, because most of our crystal books, or all of the crystal books, are pretty much watered down on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So various deities can guide you to certain crystals that will help in your deeper awakening. And so some of the slideshows I'm going to share with you today is some of the images of solar work that I do. You know, working with the sun, tapping into various solar symbols, words of power. You can have the sun grow in stature. See how big the sun is. Taking a picture of it. This is when I'm out in the field doing, you know, the various types of solar work that I do. You can have the sun expand. You can have it move across the skies. You can have it blink, of course. There are hundreds of people who get the sun to correspond to the various symbols of power and words of power. And the blinking is not a fancy show for your camera. That blinking is, you know, the gods that dwell in that sun recognizes you as a conscious being, you know what I'm saying? So when you get the sun to react to certain symbols and certain words of power, you're now getting on the radar of solar deities, solar goddesses, solar gods, your solar ancestors, and now they can guide you more and more ways of elevating your consciousness and raising your overall vibration. Awesome, awesome way of working with solar energy. There's another image here projecting certain solar symbols into the sun. It changes shape sometime into a diamond. You can also work with it through candles. You know what I'm saying? Doing your solar work through candle magic. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Here we have this sun here, and we have two green objects also. This sun here I snatched off of Instagram through other practitioners of solar magic. Awesome, awesome image here, I tell you. Here we have what I'm talking about, how you can work with, you know, chanting various names of the sun. Here I was chanting one of the more ancient names of the sun, and I conjured up this image here of a diamond. And diamonds, not really talked about in metaphysical books on crystals, but diamonds are very sacred to the sun gods, Ra in particular. The ancient magicians and priests, they work a lot with diamonds. Diamonds help to strengthen your aura. The diamonds help to raise your consciousness. The diamonds help to attract wealth to yourself. So meditating with diamonds is very awesome. I tell you, I've been fortunate enough to get a lot of raw diamonds within the last year and a half that I keep in my energy field all the time. This is a beautiful image here of a candle in the form of a diamond, and I'm chanting various solar words of power. Here's another illustration. Here I got the rune images popping in front of this one here. Look at the aura around the candle. This is too from chanting various solar words of power and working with solar spells, and even the candles respond to the magic. And all of this is designed to elevate your consciousness, raise your level of vibration. The more you work with it, obviously, the more the energy awakens within yourself. When it takes place in your outer reality, your creativity becomes explosive, your intelligence becomes explosive, and you begin to awaken your immortal genes and your God genes, depending on the type of information that you have. So that's the benefit of working with various deities. The goddess Aset or Isis, the great god Thoth or Hermes or Tahuti, or any other solar goddesses, Ra. Most people that work with these deities are unaware that you can ask them for information or ways you can connect with the sun, or they'll guide you towards those teachers that have that information. You know what I'm saying? That's where your offerings, that's where your prayers and your petitions to the gods. This is how the magicians got their knowledge of how to do a lot of magical things in this realm. And this one here is moon magic. Of course, we're talking about the sun here, but the result of doing a lot of solar work you also raise yourself up to where you can do some awesome things with the moon, and have the moon changing, shapes and everything. Like, this is a beautiful pig. I'm chanting the true name of the moon. That's the moon has an ancient name to it. So chanting the true name of the moon, you get this image popping. This is a full moon from not that long ago. And here's another one that I'm standing out front, and it takes on yet a different shape of simply chanting the name of the ancient name of the moon. The ancient magicians back in the day, they used to have the moon. They used to kind of draw the moon out of the sky into their hands. Once you have a true name of it, then you have control over it. So I haven't been able to draw it out of the sky yet, but I have been able to cause it to take different shapes. One sister that I know was able to have the moon blinking, and also another student of mine was able to go into the moon and meet a being in the moon. I tell you, by utilizing the true words of power for the moon energy, you can project consciousness into the moon and observe its inhabitants. And here is a awesome energy, talking about solar energy. In case you didn't screenshot this from the last video, a couple of videos, this is an awesome way that you can still tap into the energy of the sun. This white part here is the actual solar energy here. So if you're new to this channel, this is your first video, this ruling energy here is Sawulo. Sawulo can be used to elevate your consciousness, all sorts of healing. You can utilize Sawulo to empower your chakra system. Simply call upon the energy of Sawulo. Visualize it at your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plex, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown chakra. And each chakra point, you would chant the name Sawulo. Call upon the energy of Sawulo to remove any type of blockages that may exist within the chakras, to rejuvenate, revitalize, to harmonize each of the chakra centers. You can work with Sawulo to attract prosperity and wealth into your world. Whatever it is you want to attract to yourself, visualize Sawulo energy, chant the name of Sawulo. The more you work with it, the more it will gain resonance within the subconscious, and in time it will take place in your outer reality. And of course, another one of my spiritual mothers said, don't do this video without talking about me. We talked about 6 or 7 other goddesses. I want into this video. Sekhmet, the mighty one, great of magic, lady of terror, lady of action, the one before evil, the one before whom evil flees, mistress dread, lady of flame, the scarlet woman. She is the goddess of war, justice, destruction, and healing. In fact, Pharaoh Amenhotep III placed some 600 statues of Sekhmet in the Karnak temple complex in hopes of improving his ill health. That is how military they were working with these deities in ancient times. 600 statues to a goddess to help him to heal. So again, this is another awesome goddess that you can work with to get knowledge of healing, solar magic for all types of healing, except for the eyes. She doesn't work with any type of healing from the eyes. She likes beer by itself, or you can mix it with pomegranate juice, incense or frankincense, myrrh, orange, cinnamon, red flowers, also candles, red candles, obviously. She also works really fast. I remember when I reconnected with her, I had a big 7-day candle, red candle, and it burned down in a day and a half, I tell you. So Sekhmet is an awesome energy. What I mean by destruction, she's yet another goddess that you can utilize to destroy the part of your consciousness, or to transform the part of your consciousness that may be holding you back from great expansion in all areas of your life. You can call upon a segment to remove any type of negative forces that may be attached to your mind, your soul, your emotional body, your aura. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have a spirit attachment attached to your aura. Call upon the energy of segment to cleanse and purify you on all levels. The more you gain resonance with her, the more her energy will awaken within you. And she wanted to remind folks, don't bother her with trivial matters. She's about healing. She's about the destruction of enemies that dwell within you and all around you. She's not about foolishness. You know what I'm saying? She's not so serious where you have to be on your tiptoes when you step to her, but just she's not to be concerned with things that are trifling in nature. So if you have a desire for it to heal on a deep level, you want to learn more about rejuvenation magic coming from the sun, you want to be guided into ways of immortality, she will visit you in your dreams, or she will guide you towards those teachers or teacher that has that information, providing you are worthy of such knowledge. This is where your offerings, this is where your petitioning, this is where your prayers are so important. As these deities, once they see that you're serious about your evolution, they will bring into your world the information you need, the information that you're not going to get offline, that you're not going to get on TikTok. And it's going to be practices. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be something that you have to do on a regular basis. Awakening to your highest potential. It is work. It's not a 24 or 48 hour process. It's something, a tedious exercise you have to do on a regular basis to break down those barriers to your divinity. You know what I'm saying? And working with the deities and your more ancient ancestors. You know, you have ancestors that go back until these ancient times of ancient Atlantis, Ethiopia, ancient Greece, Sumeria, wherever, different star systems, all is in your DNA and genetic line. So the more you invoke your more ancient ancestors, feed your crew, burn money for your crew, the more their wisdom and knowledge and power and magic awaken within you. So that is it. The spiritual team wanted me to share information regarding the sun and its importance and working with it. You're not going to find a whole lot of information regarding solar magic online. You're going to have to go into the spirit world to get this information, or those that teachers that have gone within themselves into higher worlds, solar worlds even, and gotten this information. But the more you work with these deities, especially those of the sun, my last video I talked about a solar goddess I work with, the goddess Aniti, a powerful ancient goddess from the Hittite tradition. They will guide you towards that information, that teacher or teachers that have that information in time. Until next time, if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments or hit me up through email, and we can chop it up about whatever it is you want to chop it up with concerning solar work and healing and evolution. Until next time, peace.